How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're happy to have you here. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite builds, and it's going to be the Bow and the Rapier. And why I love it so much is, one, it's very high damage, and also it is one of the fastest mobility builds that you're going to find. So if you're looking for a high build, grease lighting faster than Forrest Gump speed build, stick around. I'm going to show you how to do it. So the real key to this build, other than the haste abilities on the bow and the flesh ability and the evade speed abilities on the rapier, is the light armor. This is designed to be run with light armor. One, it's going to give you the 20% damage, so it's going to make you a killing machine. Also, you're going to be able to get those extra dodge rolls, and it's going to be extremely fast, especially if you're using your animation cancellation. The first thing we're going to do before we get into the build is we're going to go ahead and go to our attributes. But before that, I wanted to let you know that I'm using warforged.gg/attributes. Big shout out to them. They put together a really cool, clean site, easy to use. So go ahead and check it out. And thank you again, Warforged, for letting me use this in a video. So when you log into Warforged, you're going to have two options under attributes. You're going to have the regular gear score, which is going to come up give you 190 points to allocate. If you click the perfect gear score, it's going to give you a total of 475. Now, I'm going to take their word for it. This is correct. I've heard some differences in this. I think it might go higher. I'm just not sure, but we're going to go with 475 because that's what they have currently. Now, Bow and Rapier are both high dexterity. Bow is complete dexterity. Rapier is primary dexterity, and secondary is intelligence. So quickly, the bonus you're going to get with the dexterity line is it's going to benefit the skinning line. So if skinning is something you're planning on doing a lot of, it'll be beneficial to you. Now, I think personally that the dexterity line is the best line in the game, and I'm going to tell you why. The first one is just going to give you an extra 5% chance to critical hit. At 100 points, you're going to get 5% thrust damage, which would be really good with the spear combo. If the third one is a big one, you're going to get dodging cost, 10 less stamina, and you're going to get 10% decreased weight of skinned items. The fourth one, you're going to get a backstab bonus, which is probably going to be very beneficial when daggers come in, and which is also a complete dexterity build. Also, the fifth one at 250, you're going to get a 10% bonus of critical hit on stuns against slowed rooted enemies. Again, that's a nice combo with the spear as well, if you choose to go that route. But here's the bread and butter. The 300 guaranteed critical hit after dodge roll. Now, they give you ammo that has 15% chance of being returned. Not a big deal. But the guaranteed hit after dodge roll, you are dodging constantly. So if you use this to your advantage, plus some of the other perks that you're going to roll out, you're going to do massive damage. Now, the rest of the points, I'm just pretty much primarily putting in Constitution to give us a little bit more beefiness. Since we are light armor, we can use the extra points. So obviously, we're going to get the 20% to health potions, which is going to be very, very beneficial. And make sure you always have health potions and food on you. You can even have a little bit of water in your hotbar to help get some healing as well. You're going to get increased max health, 10% of your physical armor. You're also going to be able to get 10% less damage taken. And we won't be able to have enough to get the 20% increase to armor unless the figure of 475 is wrong. And if it goes up to 500, then we will be able to get 20% increase to armor, which would be fantastic. So going up to the weapons tab now, you're going to go to bow and you're going to hit use and build. And I like to go to the skirmisher line first. I get my haste abilities before I actually get any true abilities, because usually at this point I'm just using it as a secondary weapon. Right now, evasive tactics, after you dodge, deal 20% more damage for 5 seconds, which couples really good with the 300 dex ability where you get an automatic crit roll after dodge. Okay guys, so for time's sake, I went ahead and put the abilities in early so we can move through these pretty quickly. We already talked about the evasive tactics where you get 20% more damage. The only ability you're going to get early, and it's only because I have to get down to this line, is I went ahead and took Rain of Arrows, which I've become a real fan of lately. The bleed and the slow combination that you get from the Rain of Arrows, and especially if you drop it in front of you, if they're an upfront melee, really works really well. The Poison Arrow is going to stop their healing over time if they're trying to eat their food while they're running, and the direct hit poison shot does 200% more damage. Now, you're not going to fill either one of these out until you go ahead and get dodge and weave and archer's speed. Now, dodge and weave, you're going to be able to go ahead and every time you dodge, you're going to get 10% haste for 2 seconds. So which, again, we're in light armor, so we dodge a lot. And you're going to get 10% speed on archer's speed, and there's a 10-second cooldown on it, and you get it for 5 seconds. So you put those two together, and that's really nice. Then, of course, you get your bleed and your slow. If you're wondering, we do not get the final ability in either one of these lines. The knee shot, leg shots cause you 10% slow for 2 seconds. To me, that perk sucks. It needs to be reworked. I mean, it's basically the same thing as in Pale, where you get 10% for 2 seconds. An ability this far down should be far better than that. They need to rework. So I ignore those. So going over to the other line over here, now penetrating shot and rapid shot, I've used them both. I really like them both. I decided to go with rapid shot. Firing off that 3 arrows really quick is pretty nice. Like I said before, splinter shot is an ignore. So we're going to go ahead and get heavy arrows fly faster, deal 30% more damage. We're going to deal 20% more damage after if foe is at least 10 meters away. We're going to get hit if your target is below 50%, you deal 20% more damage. This one, deal 20% extra damage if you haven't been damaged if you haven't damaged a foe for the last 10 seconds. Then you got heavy attacks deal 20% more damage to foes with 100%, so that's a great opener along with this one. And then you go ahead and arrow range increase. This is important because the arrow is not like the musket, and the gravity affects the arrows much more. So you want to definitely make sure you get that. And then of course you got the bullseye, which is a must. You get your bow 10% increased critical damage. And that is pretty much wraps up the bow line. And now we're going to go ahead and move over to the rapier line. So now over at the rapier tree, I'm just going to show you the abilities that I decided to choose. Now, most of these are subjective. You can go ahead and put the ones you want to get. I use Evade, I use Flurry, and I use Flesh. Riposte is also a very good one. A lot of people like Kondo. I'm not a fan of this whole bloodline, but that's just me. This Flesh is the one you cannot ignore. The reason you can't ignore Flesh is because it's your gap closer or your getaway spell. It's going to go ahead and leave the ground going forward 10 meters. It does pretty considerable damage at 145% if you try to turn around and use it on somebody. It also is it's probably the most fluid ability in the game, as opposed to like Great Axe, how it'll stop you, Hatchet, it'll stop you. The Burnout Fire Staff animation will stop you before it starts to go. This one you could leave auto run on, hit the button, it'll just keep going. The same with Evade to some extent. Evade will stop you while it casts and it'll keep going forward. You could use it with auto run as well. So going over the perks real quickly, the ones I'm going to highlight are you're going to go ahead and have after your next attack, it's going to be increased 15% damage for 5 seconds, which is great if you do a heavy attack followed by a flurry. If you connect with that, it's going to be really good. You can cancel the Flesh anytime by hitting the left mouse button. Also, you're going to get a stagger at the end of the flurry right here. And the third ability, the Allegro, you're going to gain 20% movement speed for 3 seconds after casting it. Like I said, you just stop for a quick second and then you go ahead and move forward for 3 seconds. The ultimate on this is going to be the momentum, and that one's going to couple real nice with what I just talked about. After you're doing your Flesh, if you can turn around and hit them with a heavy attack, that heavy attack's going to get 25% increased damage, or your next attack for the next 3 seconds, which will be really nice, and then following up with the Flurry. You're going to go ahead and get Desperation, does 10% more damage when your stamina is below 40%. You dodge a lot, so that it has a chance to proc pretty often. I got the 3% haste for 4 seconds on any hit, stacks up to 5 times. We also went with On Guard, deals 10% more damage when the target has greater than 50% health. And the Light Edge, which increases your swipe damage on your middle swipe damage by 8%. So it's just going to add a little bit more DPS to your attacks. And with that, that pretty much concludes the breakdown of the rapier, the bow. What's most important to take away from this is if you flag for PvP a lot like I do, I want to be able to choose my battles. I want to be able to get away when I can. The rapier bow gives us that flexibility. We choose when we fight. We choose when we run away. If you found the video helpful and you think it's something you're going to use, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can find out when I'm putting new content out for you guys. Also, I'll have in a link below my Twitch channel, which is Sandman's Gaming Channel. Come on in and check us out. We're doing a giveaway of 4 copies of New World before launch to the top 4 loyalty point earners, and there's still plenty of time to earn it. Also, I'm going to have the Warforged link down there as well, so you guys can go try out some of your own builds. And if you're looking for a company and you're going to be on NA East and plan to play Syndicate, come check us out at stormborngaming.net. We're a highly competitive guild and plan to have a territory at launch, and we're looking for a few more outstanding PvP players to fill out our roster. So with that, I'll say thank you for watching again, and everyone have a great day, and we're going to see you guys at launch real soon. Take care, guys.